Welcome to Casual Swinger. If you're under 18, the following podcast is not appropriate for you. The subjects and language are for mature audiences only. If you're not mature in nature, just make sure you're old enough to vote. We don't take ourselves seriously, ever. No guarantee is given regarding the accuracy of any opinions or statements made on this podcast, our website, or our blog. It's all in fun, folks. This isn't Dr. Phil. Now, consider yourself, the listener, properly advised. Welcome back to Casual Swinger, everybody. Mallory here.
I'm Mickey.
And we're so excited to report back after Naughty and Nawlins.
Oh, man, I still have a hangover.
I think my liver is more pruned than anything.
Shut up, liver, you're fine.
Yeah, right? We saw that shirt several times, including
I wore
yours.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wore the damn thing. I wore it for, I think, like Mardi Gras night, because it was like the last night we were there. And it was just, oh.
Yes, yeah. And we have some tips about pacing yourself and being in that environment later on in the show. But it was a great event.
Yeah.
I was very excited and feel very fortunate to be able to attend.
Yeah, and I finally got to say that I took your virginity at something.
You did?
Yeah, you'd never been to NIN before.
That's true. I was like, wait, but we've already done the butt stuff. I'm not sure. Like, what?
Yeah, so I got Mallory's virginity at NIN.
Love it. Love it. So awesome event. If you've never been, highly recommend if you have the ability to go, do it at least once.
Oh, yeah. So I think it is pretty much the largest lifestyle convention in America anyway.
Really?
Yeah, it's
there were a lot of swingers, lifestyles, like a little bit of everyone at this event.
Yeah, I want to say 2,600 people. So It was 3 hotels.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Astor Crown Plaza. It was the Saint, which is a super cool hotel. We'll get into in a little bit. And then there was an overflow hotel. So there's a lot of damn people.
It was. And you know what I got out of that was a little bit of our taste of Jamaica, right? Like, how often are you in that type of environment where you have that same commonality between that sense of community? You almost feel normal.
Yeah, but we're going to get into all that in the main part of the show today. For now, we're just kind of, recovering. And you got a new recovery device, didn't you?
I did.
You got back from NIN, and it was all shiny and new on the front porch.
I did. We met Steve and Wendy there, right?
Yes.
And there's this great story behind this product. It's called the High Massager, and he developed this for his wife after she had a C-section, correct?
Yeah, she had tissue adhesions after a C-section. So what we're talking about is a product from a company called Women and Couples, and it's called the High Massager. It was developed by a guy named Steve McGough, and he is an engineer by trade. He's a great guy to talk to if you've never talked to him. And what you realize immediately is that he knows a lot about a lot of things when you talk to this dude.
I was very impressed because does he have like any medical background?
I don't think so. He's a certified sexologist now.
Yeah, so there you go, certified sexologist. So it was very interesting to hear the story behind the utility and the function of it, and then go, oh, by the way, amazing orgasms.
Yeah, right. Oh, by the way, bonus orgasm.
Like crippling seizure, can't tell you my name, have to lay there and drool on myself for about 10 minutes after kind of orgasms. So.
I picked it up and I thought it was a stormtrooper's rifle. I was just playing with it.
You're such a dork. These are one of the reasons why I love you so much is you can make anything fun or funny. So bless your heart.
I did. I turned it around backwards and I'm all pew, 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 pew. When Mallory comes in the room, which she really was not impressed. She's like, put my
No,
toy
this
down.
is serious business. We're going to try to have an orgasm with this. We're not playing stormtroopers. I mean, we can role play that later, but that wasn't the plan.
But yeah, like this thing has like these 2 percussive heads on it, and then it's got Squidward's nose hanging off the end of it. And you like put the percussive heads on your goodies. And from my conversation with Steve, and we're going to have him on the show here in a couple of weeks to talk about it in detail. But he said that a typical vibrator works 1 nerve.
Yes.
On a female.
Yeah, and this targets the vagus nerve, correct?
I think.
I believe so.
I don't know. I have the penis nerve.
I believe so. Because, I mean, when you think about it, that nerve cluster, especially when you're talking clitoral, most of it is underneath the skin, which is why someone went, hey, Hitachi, this is a great idea.
Women could use a 100 horsepower vibrator.
Yeah.
In comes Steve, 1,000 horsepower. It's the Hellcat of vibrators, folks.
All right, gearhead. But the point is, like, it has these two nodules that are percussive. So they kind of move more in an up and down fashion versus then a rumble or vibrating, which the vibrating part is on the end and it's curved. And like you said, you had a great analogy. It's Squidward's nose from SpongeBob.
It really is. It's blue too.
So it took a while to kind of like figure out where it fit my body, because everyone's shaped a little differently. And we watched some videos and read some of the tutorials, just kind of refresh our memory on that. And holy fuck.
Yeah, right.
It was impressive.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I watched you come a few times over the last 13 years.
Yeah.
And I can say that was an interesting view. Like you kind of curled up like a Cheeto.
Dude.
It was pretty impressive.
My face was not sexy at all. It was all in the moment.
It was awesome.
Yay.
It was super cool.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
anyway, they put this thing together because percussive therapy worked for these tissue adhesions for his wife. And he built this product, and during the testing, the side effect was massive orgasm. And so what I thought was super, super cool is the investors that he was going to said, if you can eliminate that side effect, we're interested. He's like, eliminate it. We're going to celebrate it. Fuck you.
Yeah, for real.
That's what they did. And so that product is what came of it. It was on Indiegogo, and now it's in our bedroom, and we're going to have them on Casual Swinger very soon for you guys. But
it's a great tool. And for the massaging benefits as well, amazing.
Yeah.
You're totally using it on my butt and my hips later.
I'm going to use something on your butt.
Love it.
So, and we're talking about toys right now, and we've got a big, huge,
Massive.
my Trump impression, huge.
Yeah, yes.
Huge announcement for you guys from Casual Swinger. Mallory, you want to do the honors?
So we have announced and launched our toy site, casualtoys.com. Casual Swinger is bringing you premium, wonderful toys to bring to your bedroom.
I thought you were going to tell people we were getting married.
Oh, we already did that.
Oh, okay.
Were you there?
Yeah, us and a few of our closest friends. That's right, guys. Casual Toys is coming. Casual Toys is actually there. It's www.casualtoys.com. We got a couple of things going on there, right? When we launched this site, we said, why in the world do people need another place to buy toys? And,
True.
You know, you listen to our show. You hang out with us. This is like hanging out in our living room. It's what most people say when they listen to this show. And when you hang out in your friend's living room, sometimes you talk about the things that you love, the things that you buy, the things that you're interested in. And we said, you know what? We're going to give people that same service with the toys that we use and we love.
Correct. So, I am a connoisseur of many types, and I feel very passionate about toys, whether that's for solo play, dual play, group play, all facets of them. And what I struggled with or have struggled with is finding a reliable source for feedback and types, brands for what I like. I like a variety of things. I'm very lucky in the fact that I am multi-orgasmic. I can orgasm many different ways. And I want to invest in good products and products I know are trusted.
That's totally bragging, by the way. I'm multi-orgasmic and can orgasm many different ways.
That's not
so
what
many
I
women
meant.
out there are like, fuck you,
Yeah,
Mallory.
I get it. But so when you have too many options sometimes, here's the catch-22. You don't know what you want sometimes.
So you have the cable TV of pussies.
Kind of.
You're like, I don't know what I want to watch.
I know. Tough life, right?
Guys in porn are the same way. We spend 2.5 hours finding a video and 2 minutes jerking off. It's the way it works. But,
right.
you know, I think Casual Toys for us was an opportunity to give back to people, right? Because we give you the opportunity on Casual Toys to write reviews of your own, but also we're going to give you a Mallory approved section where you can find out, you know, hey, Mallory used this, she liked it, and here's why. Because not only is that going to be in the Mallory approved section, but it's going to have a review from Mallory herself talking about why she liked it. But you guys can write your own too, right? Maybe you disagree. We want to hear what you guys think. And, you know, this thing is growing. I upgraded the chat engine this morning for that product. So, and also we're going to be doing some upgrades later this week where all of the products collapse into individual products. You don't have 5 different things to click on depending on what color you want. You click on the one thing and then pick your color. Yeah,
essentially, I mean, you guys, our listeners, our fans, our friends, you are our beta audience.
Yeah,
you know,
you're helping us launch this thing.
Yes, I mean, we've put a lot of time, energy, and love into it, and Your feedback is going to be critical in our success in providing you with
a great experience.
A great experience. Thank you.
Hey, I'm
Got
here
a
to
little
help.
tongue-tied there.
Yeah. So, our first partner in this is our friend Mike from ASN Magazine. He was our first partner. So if you guys are listening to the show today and you want to try out Casual Toys, give his code a try and see what it does for you. His code is ASN MAG, ASNMAG. Every time we talk about this, and by the way, you're probably wondering, shit, Mickey and Mallory don't sell us. They don't sell us on anything. They don't talk about brands. They don't take ads. So now they got their own things. So that's all they're going to talk about. No, it's not.
Nope.
We're not going to bludgeon you over the head with this thing. This is an opportunity for you. We'll talk about it every once in a blue moon for 15 seconds. But when we do, every time we're going to give you a different person's code that supports our site. So in this particular case, the first one up is our very first supporter and the person that's been super helpful to us. That's ASN Magazine, ASNMAG. That's the code. It'll get you 20 off on Casual Toys. But,
and that's everything on the site. That's the lingerie, which I will have to say, if you're into thigh highs, ladies, the Kixies are amazeballs.
I haven't worn them yet.
So high quality. Love them. Well, and I'm a mess. I ruin them. Every time I buy a pair of thigh highs, it's like I go into it going, okay, these guys are going to be disposable. One-time use only. Mm-hmm. Now, and with regular hosiery care, I've been able to keep mine for dozens of uses at this point.
Yeah, that's one of the first products you kind of were like, hell yeah, we have to carry this product.
Oh my gosh, I love them.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I don't know anything
and I love that we can offer them a discount because I've paid dearly for them in the past.
Yeah. And, the other thing that we did when we built this, and when you guys go look at it, it'll have the same look and feel as casualswinger.com. There's a reason for that. We built this site because we don't want it to be this giant flood of ads, right? And it's clean, it's simple, it's premium. It's us, right? Pleasure's priceless.
My journalism purist over here.
It is me. Well, it's just when I look at some other sites out there, it's just like, buy this. This is on sale. This is on sale. Oh, for God's sakes. I mean, if you go looking for an orgasm, Mal, do you go looking for what's on sale?
I mean, it helps, but not necessarily. I've invested probably a year's worth of income.
I think sites with a shitload of ads on them are built by dudes. Yeah. I think generally speaking, that's what happens. They're built by dudes who are trying to sell products for women to women. We don't get it.
No.
We have no idea what we're talking about, which is why I let Mallory drive this bus, folks. You are not buying this shit from Mickey. You're buying it from Mallory. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. But I do know the tech side, and I do think that we're growing something here that's pretty wicked for you guys, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. So if you get a chance, do us a favor, check out casualtoys.com and let us know what you think. Let us know how it works for you. Let us know what doesn't work, what makes it difficult for you, what stops you from buying something or makes you want to buy something. Because this is something that we're doing to help us support the podcast, of course.
Correct.
But mostly we're doing it for you guys, right? So I think this is going to be a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, we're passionate about pleasure. What can we say?
I'm passionate about watching you get off. That's a lot of fun. But we have some really, really, really cool stories for you guys from NIN. We went down there and had such a good time. It was such a blast. So we're going to talk about NIN when we come back from this break. Thanks for indulging us in Casual Toys and High Massager. Mal, why don't you tell everybody where they can find us, and we'll come right back and talk about our experience at Naughty and Nawlins.
Love it. Well, we're Casual Swinger everywhere, folks. That's Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, SLS, SDC, Cassidy, and Double Date Nation. And as Mickey said, if you're interested and want to check it out and give us some feedback, or, of course, go shopping, find us casualtoys.com.
Thanks a lot, guys. We'll be back right after this. You've been listening to Casual Swinger. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Casual Swinger. I am still Mickey.
Oh, that's good to know. And I'm Mallory.
So NIN. We're coming back to talk about NIN. And, of course, my Google Home just chimed in and wanted to play some Ed Sheeran for us. For some unknown reason. We're all broken up over
Making
here.
the sexy time.
Hey. Would you like to go to a party?
A party?
And sex.
Love it.
So we've got a running joke around here this week with some couples we've been talking to, and there's one in particular we're not going to throw under the bus, but it seems like every time we hear from them, they're like, "Hey, you guys want to get something to eat and sex?"
It's great, but I think that's like another, I guess, stereotype.
Yeah.
Like if we had to write a parody. And the types of swingers and how they engage with other couples. Like, there's always that guy, like, would you like to come over and, like, we can talk about music and get to know each other and sex?
Yeah, I feel like we're talking to Borat every time I talk to him. Like, would you like it to sex? I'm like, what? We were talking about rain. I was talking about sod in my yard. And you're like, oh, how's your sod? And the sex? I'm like, I don't get it. But anyway, so let's forget about the sex for a minute and talk about NIN. We just got back from Naughty in New Orleans. Naughty in New Orleans, if you live under a rock, I'm really excited that we have reached under rocks. But Naughty in New Orleans is put on by Bob and Tess Hannaford, and it is this United States' largest convention for lifestyle swingers and sex-positive individuals, which means you don't necessarily have to be a swinger to enjoy Naughty in New Orleans.
Correct.
You can be a lot of different things, and we had a lot of different stuff represented there.
Yeah, you can be you, which is amazing. That's one of the things I love the most about it.
Actually, I felt the same way.
Yeah.
The last night was the Mardi Gras party, and I had a 4-foot top hat on during this Mardi Gras party.
Shocker.
Yeah, shocker. Mickey wears big hats. But I had a giant top hat on during this thing, and I'm walking around, and there's probably 2 places in the world you can wear a 4-foot top hat and not feel utterly ridiculous. One of them is probably Hedo, and the other is Naughty in Nawlins. Because I walked down Bourbon Street wearing a massive top hat, and all I got was high fives and love that hat. Not like, dude, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Right? But the thing of it is, on Mardi Gras night, I'm standing in this hallway surrounded by like 1,000 people, and I felt so at home. It was ridiculous. I felt so comfortable. And that, for me, was the takeaway that I brought back from NIN, right? If you just want to fast forward to the end and go, how to make your Mallory feel about NIN? Home. It was so comfortable. It's the closest thing to being at Hedo that I think we've had.
Because the other side of that, not only are you in this community of people who accept you, whatever version of you are, or who you are being, or you unabashed completely yourself. Mm-hmm. Also, the people of NOLA were very comfortable with all these swingers, lifestyles, and others present. So that also made it feel like Jamaica and home in that community aspect where we weren't being judged. I mean, we were handing out casual swinger gear to the bartenders, and they were high-fiving and hugging, and yeah, they were all over it.
Oh, I mean, some of them are still wearing our stuff on Bourbon Street.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
We brought a lot of gear down there, right? So,
ooh, buddy.
Oh man, I mean,
thank you, Bukkake Bus.
Oh, thank you, Bukkake Bus. So our friends, CNS with the Bukkake Bus, muled, I don't know, a shitload, enough stuff that she looked at us and said, "You better give it all away because I'm not taking it back."
Legit, verbatim. That is her words.
Yeah, that was her words. And so we're like 500 T-shirts, 500 pairs of glasses. 600 necklaces. I mean, you name it. We gave out so much stuff. But the cool part about it was the people were just digging it, right, on Bourbon Street. Like the bartenders are wearing our glasses and our necklaces. And, it was just neat. Koozies everywhere. I saw casual swinger koozies all over Bourbon Street. So just so much fun, right?
Yeah,
because we do this for fun. And my favorite part, actually, and I don't know if you and I talked about this or not, but one of the bartenders that we gave sunglasses to listened to the show.
Oh, yeah?
And the next time I saw him, he goes, "I'm not a swinger, but I love that show." He's like,
"You
guys are insane."
That's so funny.
And I was like, that's cool. We appeal to people that don't fuck each other. Okay, cool.
So, what are they, eunuchs, monks? What?
I don't mean,
don't
fuck
fuck
somebody.
each other?
No,
okay.
Don't fuck other people's wives. Or
Gotcha. I got what you're saying now.
Yeah, picking up.
Yeah, and I had fun. I love being the swag fairy and bouncing around and meeting new people and giving them prizes. Like, that was a lot of fun for me.
that's going on your license plate. Swag
fairy.
Somebody's gonna be like, "What? What's a swag fairy?"
Hey.
Like, let me show you. So, what is NIN? NIN is it's 2 things, right? It's a conference with panels and seminars.
Oh, yeah.
And they're put on by some of your favorite people, right? Sex Because, Cooper Beckett, John and Jackie Melfi, who own Colette.
Mm-hmm.
Just so what Tess and Bob do is they assemble some of the best voices in the lifestyle, and they bring them to bear to give you an opportunity to hear from these folks on different topics. And sometimes it's a panel, and sometimes it's just a presentation.
Or sometimes it's advice, like the friends that we met down there. There was how to have anal like a porn star.
Right. There are all these really cool seminars that people could go to. Now, I would say maybe a little less than half of the people went to seminars. I mean, maybe everybody went to one. We went to one. But, I think less than half probably go for the seminars. They go for the parties.
Sure. That's probably a fair assessment. It's hard for me to take a step back and look at it from the 5,000-foot view. Mm-hmm. But there were people on the calendar, excited about this seminar, this day, this one, that day, mm-hmm. and maybe balance both, maybe did more of the parties, less of the seminars, but it seemed to have a great overall balance. So there was always something to do, always somewhere to be, no reason to be bored, but also no reason to feel like you're stuck there either. Like you can do, it's your oyster.
Yeah, you can do anything you want. And I felt like that freshman kid in high school for two reasons. First of which...
We drank too much the first few days and made a sex video that we forgot about.
That's also true. That happened.
That was my freshman year. I'm kidding.
Your freshman year was way cooler than mine. I discovered masturbation. But, all right, so, I felt like a kid in his freshman year for two reasons. First of which is we signed up for every single seminar in class on the schedule before we went. So I got 5,000 spam messages about, hey, make sure you make it here, make sure you make it there. And I'm like, oh, my God, I feel so busy. We didn't make it to any of them except for one, and not one that I signed up for, ironically enough. But, you don't have to do that. You don't have to go to every seminar. Like you said, the world is your oyster. You can do anything you want. The other reason I felt like a freshman in high school is my backpack weighed 700 pounds.
Oh, you were so cute. I literally spent half the time with you in your Ninja Turtle backpack, and that's what I called it because you looked like you had a huge shell on your back. Two things. One, to make sure I could access swag and get it out because it was great to have it so accessible. But with that many people on Bourbon Street and in the clubs, I was like, please don't take out the pretty blonde to your left. Right, don't turn too quickly.
Every time I turned around, I would knock out immediately.
Yeah. Can we get back to that sex tape though?
Oh God.
Because every time I think about it, I want to hold onto my ankles and rock back and forth.
Yeah. So here's what happened. Okay. We were at NIN. We started drinking, 11 o'clock in the morning because you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning. And so we started drinking early, and then it was late. We were back in the room.
It is, and we weren't hammered most of the day. We just kept pace, and I never felt smashed until we got back to the room.
Well, I can tell you, Mallory wasn't hammered.
No,
By my
I
voice
wasn't.
In this video, I was hammered.
Oh my gosh. Can we play it for our listeners?
Okay.
Can we use that audio clip?
So this
Please?
audio clip is just for you guys, and it's coming up right now.
What's wrong with the focus on this fucking thing? Oh, it's not the phone, it's my eyes.
Oh my God.
Okay, guys.
Okay.
That happened.
This is the fucking thing. It's really... That's my eyes.
Why do I always have to be the sacrifice? Okay.
Oh my God. It's actually a really hot video, and it's Easter egg, a great surprise. The next day, you're like, ooh, what is this? And when I watched it, I didn't watch it with the volume on. So it took days for me to figure out that there was that golden commentary in the beginning.
Right? Well, and that happened, and I think that particular day. So here's the way the parties work at NIN. There's a noon party. There's a 3 o'clock party. So there's 2 3-hour parties back-to-back at a bar. Right, and they're usually thrown by somebody awesome like Cassidy or iOS Connections or World Exotic Travel. Tom's Trips. Somebody is sponsoring a party at a great bar, and then they do something fun.
Yeah.
Right?
Game.
Tom's had Miss No Swimsuit.
Yep.
Right? The beach party was just insane. Cassidy's beach party. I don't even know what the hell they did, but you couldn't move in there.
And Bourbon Heat, where you hosted with iOS Connections and Taylor Time. Holler.
Right? My boy Taylor Time from iOS Connections.
They did the booty shaking contest. They gave away, they were giving away free nights to Orlando and a bunch of other shit. Everyone's party, I have to say, was off the chain.
It really was.
I was very impressed.
Yeah, I don't think my voice is entirely recovered from emceeing for Taylor Time. That was my voice was done for 3 days.
Yeah, make some noise.
Yeah, I
can't do it like you do, but I literally heard that in my sleep.
So I would say if you are thinking about NIN, you thought about NIN, it sounds like fun to you, just do it. Okay, just go and do your own thing. Go to a class, go to some parties, make some friends, and you might get lucky and have the sex.
And the sex.
And the sex. Right?
Speaking of how did we meet? Also, it blows my mind. We met a bunch of people from our backyard, right? While we were there too. Like we were on the swinger plane.
Fuck yeah. Well,
Yeah.
oh my God, our plane was full of them.
Yeah, it's
Right.
great.
Oh, and by the way, hot Jesus. Holy moly. Well, I don't know if Jesus is hot, but they were hot.
Yeah,
They were super hot.
super.
Yeah, that was very, very cool, and I was really excited to meet them. Our plane was full of them, and somebody asked us, like, how many people have you met? And we said, honestly, probably 20 just that live local to us.
Yes.
And they said, you live nearby? We said, no, we live in Florida. How did that happen? By talking to everybody,
Yep.
right? We literally stopped just about everyone. How you doing? Where are you from? What's your name? Nice to meet you.
I love that. That fills my soul.
It
I
does.
love meeting people. And it's so, I'm not an introvert per se, but I need my recharge moments. And I'm a little hesitant out in the vanilla world, right? I'm very social, but connecting with other people can be difficult because I feel different, right? Because of our lifestyle and our lives and how we live them.
Yeah, I get that. And I
So it's
definitely
a
didn't feel
lot-
that there.
It's a lot easier to do it somewhere like NOLA at NIN. So anyway, we digress.
So, something else that happened there. So you mentioned, that we got to help out our friends at iOS Connections. I emceed the party, got a little loud, which was freaking awesome. The booty shaking contest was just absolutely insane.
So good.
Desi, if you're listening to this, you're still my favorite. You make my heart
Get
go
it, girl.
bump, bump, bump. Damn.
Yeah.
But,
shit.
we've got some highlights. But before we get into the highlights, I want to talk for a minute about our friends at Swinging Down Under. Our friends at Swinging Down Under, Kate and Daryl, planned an event that was outside of all of the naughty events at Channing Tatum's Saints and Sinners.
Yeah, they did an amazing job.
They really, really did.
Huge
what
props.
a good job they did in not only marketing this event and letting people know about it, but just setting it up and getting we had special drinks at this bar, and every podcaster had their own special drink. So people could go up and order a drink that was from their favorite podcast. I thought that was super cool. Just
it was
a neat way to market it.
Great touch.
Yeah, great touch. And they had a big table full of swag where people could come and get their, favorite average swinger stuff. Or Torrid was there.
Yes.
God, I love meeting those ladies. They're hot.
Amen.
It was just cool. It was a great way to meet all of your favorite folks in one place. 250 people were lined up outside that door when we walked up there. Can you believe that?
It still blows my mind.
Yeah. And
Still blows my mind.
kind of saving the one that made me belly laugh the hardest for last on the Podcast-A-Palooza, not Podcast-A-Palooza, but podcast meet and greet.
Oh,
That was
yeah?
Ray and D.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Euphoria Chronicles.
Yeah, I'm gonna totally tongue punch his fart box. I still don't know if I actually said that or if he convinced me I did.
Okay, so if you follow us on Twitter, we got up one morning and had a message from Ray and D at Euphoria, and they're like, so for $19.95, Mallory's offered to tongue punch Ray's fart box. Mallory rolls over and looks at me and goes, I think I need to stop drinking.
Yeah. I'm really not sure how that came up. I think we said it in the morning, like, because I had been talking about licking buttholes like all day long. I think it was just on my mind. And I was like, that sounds like fun. And
Don't
so
worry, folks.
Ray's
It's a
like-
mystery to me, too.
Yeah. Anyway. Oh,
So
they were great.
that-
Loved meeting them. Can't wait to see them again.
That happened, and it's, I think when we talk about being comfortable, and it's because we're around, obviously, there were a ton of podcasters there. There was a ton of bloggers there. There were a ton of businesses there, right? ASN, Quiver, Champagne Club, Secrets, just so many great places and all come together. And then you got my jackass walking around in a top hat on Bourbon Street, right? We had so much swag, sunglasses we gave out, all over the place, all that other stuff we gave out. Our room,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Looked like we got robbed. It was a mess.
The cleaning lady stepped in and handed us towels and said, "Mm-mm."
Literally, she was like, I am not going in there. It was wild.
Yeah.
Totally wild, which also kept us from bringing people back to our room.
People are like, hey, what do you think about, going to your room? Mm-mm. You could die there.
Yeah. Right.
And they'll never find the body.
We'll lose you.
It was pretty bad. So, we went down there to kind of meet everybody and talk. And what we didn't go down there to do, at least in our heads, is hook up. And I think that's why we did.
Oh my gosh, we scored.
We said, we got some booty. We got some booty.
Where you guys can't see us, but we're dancing like jackasses.
Yeah, no, that was a really good time. We don't kiss and tell here on Casual Swinger, but it was one of those things where we had kind of seen a couple earlier in the week, and I was like, hey.
Oh, don't even lie. I spotted him.
Yeah.
There are moments where you meet somebody, and there's an initial spark or connection or electricity. So I wanted to investigate further. There was just something really positive about their energy, and I was just so drawn to them. So I tried not to be creepy because, especially when it comes to girls, I have no fucking game.
None.
I turn into a bumbling idiot. Oh, you smell good. And it just gets really weird. So I made a point, and I told her straight out, I'm a terrible swinger when it comes to closing the deal. I would like to spend some time with you and see if we can make the sex. And
I knew it was coming.
And how do you feel about this?
How do you feel about having a drink and the sex?
I think she thought it was kind of cute or nice. I don't know, but she was like,
she took pity on you and thought
she
you were
did.
special.
She's like, aw, little puppy needs a friend.
She's slow. She wants the sex.
But it was great. So we got to use their sex bed.
Yeah, well, that's not really exactly how it started, right? So how it started is, it's the last day, and we're like, fine, this is you guys like us, we like you, we're going to do this. And, there's been lots of conjecture and coverage on podcasts about being good at flirting, bad at flirting, closing the deal, asking for the business. And Angie, actually, I said something to Angie the night before the last night we were there. I was like, yeah, we just aren't doing a very good job of it. And she goes, just ask. She's like, just go up and say, hey, I like you.
Yeah, I didn't even know you had that conversation.
Well, it's funny because you turn around and did it the next day. And, of course, these guys are super cool, super hot. They live 900 miles away from us. That is exactly how our luck always goes. We meet a couple we really dig, and they live forever away. But we went looking for the playrooms. The playrooms at NIN are awesome. They're on the middle floor between the second and the third floor. It's kind of like that midway point. And those rooms were so well done. They did such a nice job setting them up with mattresses and coverage and stuff. But they were full at night.
Oh, yeah. By the end of the trip, so what happens is, I think subconsciously, everyone's like, last day to have the sex, must get to the playroom, must do it. So it was really packed. So we decided to go check out the Saint, which we hadn't been to all week, and go visit their playrooms. There was a little bit of caveat, apparently. Our new couple friend, the female half, was like, hey, spent X amount of years in Catholic school.
16 years in Catholic school.
Catholic school. And the first store we come to is the Lucifer room because they're all named after saints. And she was like, okay, that's just a little too much. I think that's crossing the line for me.
Mickey Mallory, that's a bridge too far. I'm not going to fuck you in the Lucifer suite.
I was okay, moving on. Michael it is.
Saint
We'll
Michael
do some urethral fucking. Whatever you need, sister. Just let me in.
Well, I know one thing is as soon as, I got to lick it, I heard angels singing. I don't know about you.
It was like sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah, It was delicious.
Yum, yum, yum.
Loved it. Anyway,
we're not supposed to kiss and tell.
Well, I think we called her Sunshine. We still call her Sunshine.
Yes.
Anyway, let's moving on. We're going to give you 10 tips and tricks, 10 things that will help you next year at NIN. Also, in the show notes, we're going to give you a link where you can sign up for NIN. If you do it before August 5th, which is Monday, August 5th, that's tomorrow, you can save $75. It's the early bird special. This link is not Casual Swingers link. We don't have one. This link belongs to our friend Nicole from World Exotic Travel. World Exotic Travel is a full-service travel agent. They're friends of ours. Nicole is a good friend of ours. She does a lot of nice stuff for us. So we're going to put her link in our show notes. So if you guys want to sign up for NIN, you can save some cash.
Excellent. Love
now,
that.
About those tips and tricks, Miss Mallory.
Yes. All right. So number one, and this is with any new environment, new experience. And this is what I tell people when they're going to Hedo, Desire parties, weekend takeovers. Don't try to do everything that's on the agenda or itinerary. It's okay. This is your own adventure. Build it how you want to. There's a ton to do at NIN. Do what makes you happy. Don't feel like you're obligated and chained to do everything to maximize your dollar, right?
Right. You can maximize your daughter by making her carry your bags if you want, I suppose. But
nobody caught that.
Oh, nope, I did. But yeah, maximize it. And, but at the same time, relax. Number 2, pace yourself.
Yes.
All right. Like I said, you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning, but they are very, very, very long days.
Drink responsibly, kids.
Right. If you
Even us grown-ups make mistakes and take it too far.
Yeah, we'll tell you all about that in 2 seconds. If you start at noon, right? You start at noon and you drink till 2 in the morning. That's a long, long time. 2, 3 in the morning. Ask our friend Clunk. how
Oh
that
man,
worked
poor
out.
Clunk. First party we walked into, it's day one, first party of the day. You can tell he'd been drinking all day already. I mean, he was swaying, went to get him a chair. He didn't want to sit, turn around, and I see him run into somebody and then fall down, hit the cement really, really hard because all the bars on Bourbon Street on that main level are all cement. I mean, it's concrete, guys. And I mean, it was like a melon hitting the ground. It was awful and out cold for day one.
Awful.
I mean, we
sound.
saw
That was
him
noon.
later.
That was a noon party.
Yeah. Noon or 3. I can't remember. It was very, very early in the day. That's all I know. And I felt bad. I was like, holy shit, this guy is weeks over. He's concussed. Turns out we saw him later that day and he made it through the week.
He was fine.
He's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, if he hits his head again, he may need like a drool cup.
Yeah. We saw him shit-faced in the elevator a couple days later, and he was
Yeah.
just kind of leaning against the wall, holding the wall up. But pace yourself, guys.
Yeah.
They are very long days. Drink water, right? Do one, then the other, one, then the other. It will be good for you. By the way,
Amen.
everything on Bourbon Street is a bar. So everybody's got liquor.
Yep.
You don't have to rush.
Yes. Yes. And pick the right poison. New Orleans, number 3, has a ton of charm and history in and of itself. So don't feel bad or guilty to go check some other stuff out, like stray away from the itinerary and maybe do some you time or us time in there.
Yeah, wander around a little bit. The architecture's crazy. We took a couple of cool pictures while we were down there.
We took a lot of cool pictures, and we talked to the locals. This is another tip. Talk to the locals about where they eat, where they go, if you have specific interests. Like, I was like, where would you go to lunch? Because we're on Canal, we're on Bourbon, and I want to have, like, what the locals eat, even if it's, obscure. And they pointed us to this diner just 3 blocks away from the hotel, but it was off the beaten path per se.
Yeah, it was
And it was
close by and
amazing
it was delicious.
food. Yeah, Deanie's.
Yeah.
So if you're in NOLA, try Deanie's. They were awesome.
Oh, Deanie's was the shit. So, yeah, and, when we talk about charm and history, they got, like, the World War II Museum. They have amazing people. And, yes, if you've heard stories about New Orleans, it smells like shit. I don't know why the city smells like shit, but actually, I
Drainage,
do know
sewer
why.
problems. Yeah,
Well, they
yeah.
had just flooded, right? They just flooded like 3 weeks before we were there. So, I mean, when that happens, it's going to happen. And what you have to understand is these people that live there are proud and awesome, and they've survived so much. Katrina was terrible, and they're still there. They're still kicking ass. They're still partying. They're still true to their culture. So support them, right? Go check it out and see some other stuff that's away from what we're doing. So tip number 4, bring your favorite condom, right? And bring your favorite condom. We brought 1,000 condoms.
We
with
did.
us.
We did. And they're gone.
They're gone.
They're gone.
We didn't use
Y'all know
them.
how to fuck.
Right? So we spread casual swinger branded condoms all over the place, and you guys used a ton of them. But I recommend if you
It's
have,
kind of an obvious one, I think.
yeah, if you like your own, bring your own. It seems silly, but we had people come to us looking for condoms.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, well, okay, well, hope you like it. But if you don't,
Yeah, teach me your magic if you're already out. Right on. So number 5, there is plenty of stuff that is convenient. This is a walking city. If you forget something, which I always panic when I pre-pack and I'm starting to bag up my outfits into Ziplocs and, assort my, toiletries stuff. I'm always scared I'm going to forget something. I have to remind myself, especially in an environment like NOLA, that I can walk pretty much anywhere and find what I need. I mean, the CVS sells, vodka and tampons. Like, if I needed something, I could find it.
I'm glad we only needed one of those.
Vodka.
Yeah, and a cooler.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have a fridge.
Yes.
So we bought a cooler.
Yes.
And donated the cooler
We did.
to somebody. I don't know who. But, okay, so you know what? This is a great one. Eat the food. I know that we diet. I know that we exercise, and we're worried about our abs and our waistlines and the clothes and how they look on us and how we feel in the lifestyle. But let me tell you something about New Orleans. The food.
The food's amazing. It really is. And that's, there's a reason that they're so good at the types of food that they serve, the etouffee and, oh my God, I didn't even know how much I would love crawfish.
Right?
Never even thought to try it before. And I'm a Floridian.
So there's a thing they're famous for in New Orleans called a beignet. And a beignet is a French donut covered in powdered sugar, which to me, I'm country as shit. I was raised going to the county
Oh
fair.
my gosh, you're such a dork. You're like, it's like a funnel cake.
Well, it reminded me of a funnel cake is what it reminded me of. Except it was much like fluffier and more delicious.
Yeah,
So
it's got like a denser like yeast base to it. They are utterly delicious
They're
and
amazing.
addictive. So good.
So Kate walks up to me one day and she's chowing on a beignet. This is at the Swamp. There was a party at the Swamp. And so Kate walks up to me with this bag of beignets and crams one in my face and goes, here, eat this. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the most delicious thing I ever put in my mouth. She goes, okay, now here, hold the bag. And she handed me the bag. And
Most delicious, huh? Okay, I got you.
Okay, second most delicious, next to Mallory's vag.
Thank
you. So I'm holding this like 3-pound bag and I'm like, wow, there's a shitload of them in here. She goes, look in it. I looked in it. It was all powdered sugar. There was no beignets in that bag.
Now I'm hungry.
But eat the food.
Yes. Oh, number 7. This is super important. I said it was a walking city. Bring comfy shoes. Like, I want to be sexy all the times, don't get me wrong, but I also want to survive the entire week. And that's something that I learned the first day. So I had my comfy flip-flops, or flippers as I like to call them. I also had some tennies, my Converse that I wore, and I was much better served for it. I wore heels at night intermittently. But I mean, I also knew we had 3 days after the night I wore heels. So if I was sore or whatever, I mean, if you got gams for days and can handle that shit, more power to you, ladies. More power to you, gentlemen, whoever you are. But comfy shoes do matter.
And the sex.
And the sex.
just want to throw that in every once in a while. All right. So number 8, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but introduce yourself. This is a convention full of people that are just like you, that have the same thoughts, fears, concerns, worries, wants, right? They all want the sex. But, you know, this is an opportunity for you to present yourself as you. You know, we talk about profiles in the lifestyle and online. Not everybody digs online. Not everybody does online interaction.
I'm guilty. I can do it, but I don't know. Like, it doesn't capture my, I don't feel as connected.
Yeah.
To someone.
Yeah, you definitely struggle with that. Like, until we actually go out and meet somebody, you're like, meh. And then once we meet him, you're like,
I want to be invested, but I think the person I create in my head versus the person I meet tend to be two different things. So it sets a different level of expectation. And that's not their fault. That is mine.
No. Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah.
But, you know, so my suggestion is get out there and meet these people, talk to them, and see how it's different, right? You're not a profile at that point. If there's something funny, talk about it. If there's something sexy, talk about it. Be yourself and see what type of people you can meet.
Yep. You're never going to know who you can become friends with, who can impact you, or who you can impact unless you put yourself out there.
That's right. Hey, you know what? At a lifestyle event, I met the guy that solved our landscaping problems, as a matter of fact.
Boom. Right there.
We're going to take those guys to dinner, too, because they're fucking awesome. They're
He's
hot.
my hero.
And he's my hero.
Yes.
So there you go.
So number 9, hit the tables, hit the vendor tables. We had podcasters there. We had the clubs there. We had travel groups there. They bring swag, they bring information, they bring discounts, and they bring a great attitude as well. So really put yourself out there, take their shit, go say hi.
You know what one of my favorite things was about our table is that people met at our table. Like,
because
we had a prize wheel on our table where people could spin the wheel.
I still want to know how quickly those two couples ended up banging.
Oh, it was very quick, I think, because there were sparks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but people would stand at our table and hang out and shoot the shit and play with the prize wheel, and we were giving away vibrators, we were giving away pocket vibes, nicest vibrators Chinese children can assemble, and I mean, we had all this cool stuff to give away, and people were hanging out at our table. And
I loved it.
Meeting each other because they were hanging out at our table. I love that. That was so cool.
It was great, and I love that we're kind of responsible for, you know, an infinite amount of orgasms out there in the ether now.
Oh, I want to say at least 500.
Yeah.
At least 500. Because I know those vibrators worked at least once. So that was super cool. And tip number 10, and we have a bonus tip, so there's going to be 11, but tip number 10, and this is kind of my personal one, don't feel like you have to stay at one party, especially if it's crowded beyond belief. Some of these parties are so popular that you just can't move. You can't breathe. I mean, the one at Razoo, Tom's Trips, was so hot and sexy with their Miss No swimsuit, but you couldn't move.
Yeah.
You couldn't function.
You had to get there early. The courtyard was great. There was wonderful people out there. We got to mingle, meet new people. Mm-hmm. But we didn't feel beholden either. Like, proximity to these parties, especially during the daytime, is very close.
So well planned, right?
It beautifully planned in that aspect. Love it. So you could bounce back and forth.
Yeah,
it was great,
which is super cool.
Yeah. So bonus tip, and this comes from K&K, which was amazing. We're standing in line, getting ready to go into the beach, and they were like, "You know what you guys need to talk about, and what no one really talks about, because it was getting late in the week, and the playrooms were getting full. They were like, day fucking. No one thinks to fuck during the fucking swingers. Wait till 2, 3, and 4 a.m. to close the deal.
Yeah. Well, and so then I actually heard that tip twice because, K and K are like, everybody needs to do the day fucking. The playrooms are empty right now.
Yes.
Hashtag day fucking. So that's a thing. But it turns out that our friends at We Got a Thing did something very similar. They're like, we like to hook up in the daytime and party in the evening.
I love that idea. Then I can
Brilliant.
see everything.
Yeah. That's
Because
brilliant.
I'm night blind.
Utterly awesome. Before we move on, because we have a special cocktail corner for you guys today, based on our trip to New Orleans. We haven't done a cocktail corner in a long time, but before we move on to that, I want to show a special shout out to 2 couples that really helped make NIN for us. And both of them are listeners that came and found us.
Yes.
The first of which is our first iTunes review. And I think our 3rd or 4th.
Aw.
They're amazing. They're from Detroit, Michigan. M&T for more fun. You guys know who
Holler.
you are. What a great dinner we had out with those guys.
Yeah, that was amazing. I
Um,
thoroughly enjoyed it, and their support has been just.
And it still
Like-
is, right? We're friends on Kick now, and
Yeah.
we get to talk to them on the regular. And
Well, I mostly creep because I'm so ADD and like overwhelmed at my vanilla job that like I'll check in and read through, and even though I don't respond because I'm a creeper and a jerk, I love hearing from them.
yeah, well, and I mean, they're helping us with the Casual Toys website and giving us
Yeah,
feedback.
their feedback
and,
has been great.
I can't thank all of you enough. Even if we didn't meet you at NIN, the feedback we get from all of you that says, hey, we could use to hear about this, or we like this, or we want this, or more of this, or less of that. Sometimes we're going to do it, right? I mean, sometimes I hear from people that aren't happy with the things we do. Trust me, I'm not going to change. So
Yeah, and the lunch date we had.
Oh, the lunch date. That's the second couple. God, those guys were, that was,
I could have
out
sat
of the
there for
blue.
hours. Yeah, it just happenstance. We were on the street at the same time. She was a listener. We were just like, hey, we're getting food. So
Right. Well, they were nice
come
enough
get
to
food with
message
us.
us on Cassidy.
yes.
And they're from Alexandria, which is close to where we used to live. And we had so much in common and so cool to talk to them. He's ex-military. Thank you for your service, sir.
Yeah.
So
Again, could have
awesome.
spent hours, days with them.
yeah,
Thoroughly enjoyed
yeah,
that.
and they were freaking hot. So that was awesome
yeah.
too. But those guys, and then we had some folks who bought some of our Casually Yours towels that came up to talk to you. Those guys were awesome.
They're amazing.
Look, we can't say enough good things about NIN. We've said enough things about NIN, though. We're going to hop out of here and come back with Cocktail Corner here in just a second. Mallory, you want to tell everybody how to find
You
us?
guys know where we are, but just for posterity, we are Casual Swinger everywhere. That is SLS, SDC, Cassidy, and Double Date Nation. You can also find us on social media, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram.
There we go, guys. We'll be right back with Cocktail Corner after this. You've been listening to Casual Swinger.
All right, guys, you're back with Casual Swinger. Mallory here.
And your resident drunk, Mickey.
So, recapping Naughty Nawlins was the highlight of this podcast. So, Mickey had the great idea to piggyback Cocktail Corner as a segment since it's been so long, because there are 2 signature drinks that come out of New Orleans.
Yeah, well, and we did too. So one of them is relatively new. It's only, in the last 30 years.
Yeah.
The last 30 years.
Correct.
The other one has been around since the mid 1800s.
I don't know how you find this information, but like now I want to read all about it. Like I want a novel on this drink.
So for me, the cocktails that mean the most, and remember when we did a cocktail corner on the old fashioned, it was a medicinal cocktail. It was created for medicinal purposes. Well, much like the old fashioned, in the mid 1800s, a Creole apothecary named Antoine Pichaud, he started selling his own medicinal elixir with the promise of health benefits, and he called it the Sazerac. The Sazerac goes back to 1838 when Pichaud invented that in his shop on Royal Street, right in New Orleans.
Royale?
Yeah, Royale. They said he served it to his fellow Masons after hours in an egg cup.
Oh, so he was a Freemason?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and I may pronounce this wrong, but I believe it's pronounced coquetier, and it's a special type of cup. It's an egg cup, and it is the word that most people insist evolved into the word cocktail.
Interesting.
So this was one of the original cocktails, much like the Old Fashioned. The name of the drink comes from Peugeot's favorite French brandy, Sazerac de Forge, blah, blah, blah. There's some other shit in there. I'm not French. But I can tell you that somewhere along the line, American rye whiskey was substituted for cognac. And in 1873, a bartender by the name of Leon Lamoth added a dash of absinthe. And they changed the name to a drink called the Green Fairy or Black Death because of the licorice flavor.
Ugh,
so
I hate
absinthe was
licorice.
banned in 1912 because people said it caused hallucinations. Soon after that, Peugeot's own bitters were substituted in its place, and the Sazerac was truly born. Today, Sazerac is made with cognac, bitters, sugar, herb saint, and it's turned into what is widely known as the official drink of New Orleans. So that is
cool.
the Sazerac. It is cognac, bitters, sugar, and herb saint. Today, most of the places in New Orleans use rye whiskey instead of cognac, but you can order it either way. If you order a straight-up Sazerac, you're going to get it with whiskey. If you ask for it with cognac, you'll get it. If you like old fashions, if you're a bourbon guy like I am, get it with the cognac. It's a little sweeter and it's a little better. It's just kind of a neat switch on
And
it.
everyone's palate's a little different. I think I preferred it with a whiskey, and it's definitely more in my wheelhouse in that version of it.
Yeah, it's actually
This is really cool.
not my favorite, right?
No.
I prefer the old fashioned.
No,
But it is the signature drink in New Orleans. It's the Sazerac. It's been around since 1838. So when in New Orleans, do as they do and check out the Sazerac and try it with cognac because that's how it was originally made. But there is a restaurant on the corner of Canal and Bourbon called the Bourbon House.
So good.
What a fucking selection of bourbon, by the way.
I was very impressed.
Oh, my God.
Not going to lie.
I mean, it's hard to impress us with a bourbon selection.
Yes.
And wow, what a selection of bourbon these guys had. I mean, everything from Weller to Blanton's to, I mean, they had Pappy. They had everything.
They did.
I mean, this shit you can't find.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
they had,
whoever works in procurement there is on point.
yeah, they had Blood Oath. Obviously, everybody's got Sazerac Rye down there, right? That's just like, and by the way, Sazerac is a rye whiskey brand, and it's also a type of drink. So don't confuse the two.
Correct. And Sazerac whiskey brand is also very good.
It is. It's cheap, too. It's like $20. But hey, let's go to the signature drink for the Bourbon House. It's a 40-year-old drink that they developed in-house at the Bourbon House. And it's called the Bourbon House Frozen Milk Punch.
Okay, sounds weird, but it's fucking delicious.
Right? It is. It's basically dessert in a glass.
Yes. This is lunch.
Yeah. I mean,
Dinner.
if you have it, just go ahead and just go to CrossFit. Just do it and go straight to CrossFit.
Well, no, because then you'd have to drive, and I think you're a little too fucked up after drinking it.
Right. So what's the Bourbon Frozen Milk Punch? What it is it's 4 cups of vanilla ice cream, a cup of bourbon, take your pick, half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, a teaspoon of simple syrup, don't know why you need it with the ice cream, and some nutmeg. Combine it, blend it for 8 seconds until it's slushy, and go nuts. Absolutely insanely good.
Yeah, they sprinkle it with nutmeg, but you could also put cinnamon on it.
Yeah, insanely good drink.
Yes.
So there you go, guys. That's 2 drinks from the Cocktail Corner, courtesy of your friends at Casual Swinger. The Sazerac, which is the official drink of New Orleans, and the Bourbon Milk Punch. And if you find your way into New Orleans, make sure you get down to the Bourbon House and just get one from the original. It's right there when you walk in. Big sign, try a milk punch.
Do it.
Yeah, good stuff. But hey, guys, that's going to do it for us here today. That's just a real quick Cocktail Corner and a big update on NIN.
Yes, and we've missed you guys. Can't wait to put out the next episode. We got a few guests lined up and subject matters that are near and dear to our heart, so stay tuned for those.
And the sex.
And don't forget to visit us at casualtoys.com as well. Check us out. We appreciate your support and all your love.
Thanks a lot, guys. You've been listening to Casual Swinger.